What is up, legends? All right, we are in another chapter of the new player guide, and it's pretty much how to build your animus or how to build your characters. So I will prerequisite and tell you that, in a sense, how you want to build your characters according to where you're at in the game, and according to what characters that you have. All right, so this is a core line basis for what characters are, which is DPS, tank, support, healer, um, turn pusher, which is people who will do things kind of similar to what Freya does and similar to what Kraken does, where they will use turn meter right here. So he would basically be a CC character, basically literally has it said CC right there. So the cool thing about that is you can break it down in different sections, and the sections are like literally in front of you right here. So the very first thing is module. So we're looking at a DPS character right here, and you know that the character should be using whatever is beneficial to their skills. Now, prowess wise is what the character skills are. So you have different builds and skills. Inherently, to actually make your character more balanced, you're going to want to build all of the skills up until their breakpoints, which you see right here. That's the breakpoint right there, where you have to use what's called perfect Latisse. Perfect Latisse is very rare, so you want to pick one character who's going to do something very important that you're going to have a long time or be using a long time, because you're not going to get a bunch of Latisse. Even if you're you're a spender, it's still going to be like you're going to have more than obviously than a free to play or casual, but you should definitely put it on a character that it's going to be there a while or be used in multiple things. Freya can be used in multiple areas. Even if she's elemental disadvantage, you can still kind of use her because she puts out the attack leech, which help her sustain if she does get hit. You could protect her a little bit. She's just one of those characters that's like that. The same thing with Tiamat. Tiamat, elemental disadvantage, will still survive because obviously she's a tank. But back to Freya. You also have the shells. Now, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you are putting beneficial stats on a character is according to whatever their role is and according to whatever their skills do. So your very first skill, as you can see right here, you're looking for what this scales off of. So you see in the first line right there, Whispers of the Slumber Call. Freya deals 2 hits of 110 damage to a single enemy. The first hit is 40% chance to apply a 2-turn Dreamweave. If you look on the top left, it will tell you what the skill actually does, and then you head back down. While the second hit is 20% chance to inflict 2-turn Nightmare, and you see what that does. Now you notice that all of this is damage is going to be based off of your attack. So that's what's one skill. So just pay attention to that. You see the second skill basically is a buff. If it's going to apply defense, and Dreamweave, you see on the left what Dreamweave does, and it shows you the chance of actually doing that, and then you can reduce the skill once you get further enough down in your prowess. Over here on the right, you notice that the last one is a AoE, a nuke, and that's also built off of damage. So everything is going to necessarily be built off of damage with her, so you're looking for things for a module that will actually build damage. So inherently what I did, it's according to whatever you like as well. But for what I did, I gave her a little bit of attack right there, attack bonus right there, because she's going to actually scale off that. But she should also be somewhat of a fast character. So you're looking for things that give you speed. Obviously, these didn't roll good speed, but I was looking for speed where I can actually get it and continue to push up. You can arguably put her in the speed set, so she'll go first to put out her stuff, but that's not going to scale her off of her attack. So if you want her to attack more, you're probably going to need to put attack things on her, which is why we have the onslaught set on. So me personally, I balanced it out because she's okay on DPS. She's not crazy. She's just an AoE DPS, and she has utility. She is one of those characters that are in between that does multiple things. That is just amazing at doing those multiple things. So you're looking to get her balance out as much as possible. In most games, and what you're looking for is to get your crit around 50% to 60% and leave it there, and then go for crit damage. which is what I did, and got a little bit of attack. Got some speed out there, got some attack, and then she's good to go. Same thing over here, like I was saying, with her, she's the one that I am going to actually build up on this, which is why I saved this for you. I got a perfect Latisse right here. We want to increase chance of nightmare. So we're going to use that at Latisse, which brings us to the next one, which gives HP right here. And then I don't think I have a box. Let's see if I have a box. I would need what, 6? I do. And then that brings you up to the next one. There's no point in me going further, obviously, because I don't have another perfect Latisse to actually put there. I'm using her as the example because I want to see how she's going to react once I get her all the way up to level 5 in the baseline content, which is why I started over. Even though I have a max level account, obviously for testing, I want to start over and see how the current game works with all this, because we didn't have Freya in previous betas. So I just want to kind of like see how she works with it, which is why I'm doing that right now. While you're seeing me basically start over again. I'm gonna have to do it again in a week, but it's fine. It's for testing. Then you have the shell. The shell should benefit, or whatever the character's stats and what they're doing as well. So I have Agent Shell right here. You notice that what he does with his skill is, before the owner takes action, select the enemy with the lowest possible percentage and deal 50%. 2000 deal 50% is basically 50% of attack. Is kind of missing that for some reason. And then 2,000 extra damage on top of that. Increasing the number one instance of damage taken by 15%. So that's a defense break. So that's actually pretty good. You want to get the best possible stats on the shell. That helps out. And then you look at the passive effect. We have 60 on the attack, which is kind of like not great. And then we have crit rate right there. You could roll it into something else if you want to. So we'll head over to here. Let's say I don't like that blue. I wanted to roll higher. Obviously we're not going to take healing because she's like, it's whatever. I don't care about that. She heals off life leech. So we'll abandon that, do it again. There we go. We got the better one. So we'll overwrite, and that increases that. So now we have slightly better crit than we had before. Here we go, 56. Not that big of a difference, but 2% is 2%. It's always nice to have a little bit more. All right, so this is an example of a very straightforward DPS character that you would need to do multiple things in. As far as a tank, you want to pay attention to what the tank scales off of. So again, we're reading the skill right here. The useful stuff on the left, but you want to look for what the scaling is. Tiamat swings her spear to the to pierce the target, dealing 2 hits of damage, 10% of her max HP. So that means she scales off of HP. And you want to keep going further with that. Tiamat establishes mental bond with her allies, consuming 25% of her current HP, which is always going to be 25%. So if she has low HP, that's going to put her in trouble. So you want to get as much HP as possible on her. Again, encouraging you to build her with HP. Furthering that, HP to apply a 2-turn heal over time and shield to enemies. The shield amount is equal to 90% of her HP. Again, there's that HP again. For every stack of bloodshed, Tiamat shield increases by 3.5. Again, this also scales off of HP, but not very like in your face. The reason is that the more HP that she has, that means that the more HP she can lose and not be in danger, which means that bloodshed is going to actually be able to put out more. Basically, if you try to take advantage of her, having low health to get bloodshed a little bit better with the shield, she may end up dying because she's not going to have a lot of health. So it's not necessarily good to have it like that. So you're gonna need a lot of HP. Next one over here, Tiamat consumes her own life to power her spear, and then throws the penetrate enemies, consuming 30% of her HP to deal 2 hits equal to damage of 10% of her max HP to all enemies. Again, there's HP again. More HP, better she is. Which leads you over here. Now I have to get rid of these two. I just had them up here right now because I didn't have anything else. But what you want to do is this particular set, once it's all the way maxed, as you can see at 12, you will have in fact, I can just do it now. Yeah, we'll just do it now. I didn't have this stuff before because your boy been farming. None of this is going to show me HP, is it? Effective resist is okay. Let's see if it'll go into it. Effect accuracy, of course not. More speed. It's okay just to do this because you can just get rid of them later. I'm probably going to end up using that one because it has HP on it. None of them are going to be obvious, are they? Nope. All right, so we're just going to use this because it has a base HP on it. What we're looking for is HP and speed, the way that this one is, but it's not turning into that. None of them turned into. You're not necessarily looking for attack either, even though she is going to be attacking, because remember her attack scales off of HP. I'm gonna be honest, all of this I would literally trash, but for this video I just won't. I would literally trash all this. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna use this one. Replace. Oh, HP and speed. And then it rolled a speed, and it rolled a HP, and another speed. Fine. That's cool. And we'll just, HP bonus. That's what I was looking for the whole time. Hopefully double, what you ultimately want is double HP and speed. You're not looking for her to like really go that crazy with crit because she's not that type of character. Now on the right hand side, HP bonus again. HP bonus again. Again, we're looking for that speed and HP again that you can actually get through. And then right here, I got double HP on this. So what I did is it was on a defense piece. I just put defense because it does help her be a little bit more tanky. But ultimately, you want HP as well. Here, I just didn't have one. So as you can see, the 45% right there, which helps her out and builds off of all of that. The same thing over here with prowess. You want to make sure that you are building and getting yourself to these points because it's overall stats that help. They're all breakpoint. You should be already there for right there. And yeah, then you head over to Shell. Now, the reason why I haven't done much with this character is because Tia can kind of like take care of herself very well. But I will give you an example of something that I would do with Tia, and for a reason. Let's find one that will be useful so I can give you an example. Black Flag. Now, Black Flag is a supporter Shell, and the reason why I would do this is because you want Tia to rotate as fast as possible. So I want her to actually have speed, and I want her to get usefulness out of the shell that she's using. Also, shells only roll certain stats. This one only rolls between things that will be a supporter or a tank. So knowing that, I'll start looking for things that will help out with that and that I can have a secondary stat for. Once you get further along, you are going to end up at a point, which I showed in previous videos. We'll do a more advanced one for this, but for the new player guide, we're doing the baseline in the beginning of the game. I don't want to overwhelm you with showing you end game builds and the new player guide. Like, that's not going to work out. If she's just going to keep saying that. All right. So this won't work out right here because I know that I'm not going to actually put a speed set on her, even though it like is really cool. The problem with that is both of them are 12, and ultimately towards the end you're not going to be able to do like a 12-8-6, which is what the build ends up being. You're going to have 12 in the first stat, the secondary stat's going to have 8 points, and the third stat is, which is right there where it says none down at the bottom under supporter. You're going to have a kind of like a ultimate type of set piece to actually put there, and that's 6 points. It's 12, 8, 6 that max out of all that. If you do 2 12s, you're not going to be able to do the last one. So there's, put that out there. So what we're going to do is we're going to look for Tiamat. Don't shut up, yo. Like, what's happening? So now we're looking for this. We're looking for the Wellspring right there, which is the HP. And then Bramble is defense and have a chance to actually 25% attack, which is pretty good. So we'll put that on. And then bam. Now this is early. You get other options later on once you start getting the red gear. But for now, that's great. So we're going to go ahead and build this up. Now the next point is you're going to have to build this, and we know that we're not going to be doing this. I don't have I don't have any of the characters for this, so I know I can actually feed this. And it's not a great one anyway. Ultimately, at this point in the game where I'm at right now, which I believe I'm in account level 30, you want your stuff at level 30. Your shells. You can obviously try to push higher. All right, so am I gonna do? No, I'm not gonna do this. Yeah, we'll do this one. So we'll. Yeah. And I've been farming enough that I can put this right there, and then bam. Now Tia now needs. I'm not gonna do that because the ones I'm gonna need right now. So now she's a good point. So when I start getting a higher gear and stuff like that, like the red gear where they start getting 3 pieces, now I can start bringing in Bramble. Tia just would not shut up. Okay. Healers are interesting as well. Here's the reason why. They won't necessarily all heal off of like things like HP. Like Dorothy in this case, Dorothy swings her cane, 250% single target, and the healing damage to the single enemy and healing the ally with the lowest HP based off of 90% of the damage dealt. So you're like, damn, you don't heal off of HP. No, sir, off of attack. Dorothy throws Marvelous Casca, makes a wish, healing the single target for 280% of her attack. Same thing over here. Dorothy enlarges Marvelous Casket and unleashes the true power, healing allies of 250% attack for 3 turns. Again, her attack. And essentially what you want to have happen is you want her to rotate as soon as possible. So as a character that you're going to have early that you're going to probably use until you get Ling Lao. Do I have a box of this? I do not. So we'll just make it. Need 7. How many do I have? Is this going to be enough and not break this? Yep, it is. And then bam. So now she gets to actually do that heal a whole lot faster. It's going to be on 3 turns now, which actually helps you out a lot. And you can rotate. You can do it even more cooler things and, get as much speed as you can. But you see, she gets the attack set. So you're looking for things that will help her out for attack. And you can do multiple things right here. But you see right now, I just have her on unique to give her more healing. But you can do other interesting things. You can put the attack set or the attack pet striker on her if you want to get a little bit more damage. I wouldn't, but you can because that's beneficial to her. But ultimately, you're looking for things that will break her in. And there is pieces. Actually, I don't have them because it's too early in the game. So what I can actually do. Let's see. Do I have any here? You can use Crossroads, as you can see, and you get interesting things like you can use Bulwark, where you could put Onslaught on her because obviously she's going to benefit off of attack, but then you could put Bulwark on her so she doesn't get stopped in the beginning of the round. You also have Fury, but I wouldn't really do any of these. I would just take advantage of Onslaught and Bulwark because they kind of like work together for a character. just along those lines. You'll also notice that these characters can only be certain things. Matrix available right there, they're only going to roll these stats. So if you're in PvP and you see somebody with a certain pet and you know that they have this matrix right here, like, oh, they're doing this, or they might be tanky, they might be fast. So I know that I am going to be, able to do stuff like take advantage of that and counter it if I can see what the shell is early. So for what I want with her, I'll probably do Matrix with Squid, and then go into like giving something else, and you can go kind of interesting because she's a character that doesn't necessarily take advantage of the normal support type of stuff, and then you start getting into the red ones where you get all of this interesting stuff right here, like craziness. This is Endgame, but I'm just showing you in general right now, so you can kind of take advantage of it, and you can actually peek as well and see what each individual thing. Once you start getting down here to this is what I was talking about with the 12-8-6. For example, Onslaught is 12, and you get the full advantage of Onslaught. So now you want to go into 8. Bramble, Harvest, and Fury are all 8. Right here. So what's my secondary that I'm gonna take advantage of? I want defense. Do I want the character to attack more? And what I would do with Dorothy in the past is I would put Onslaught and Bramble on too, which in fact that was the first thing I did, because that would make her go for a secondary attack with the basic attack, which means she heals again, which is actually kind of cool. Just throw it out there. And then the 6 I was talking about is just basically what you would get right here at the end. Personally, you can kind of figure out where you was, and then you have the other 12s. The other 12s are usually niche and work better towards other certain type of builds. Wouldn't necessarily work better towards her, but yeah. So let me show you an example of another interesting interaction with characters, which is why you can't build every character the same way. I just recently got Bornye. Yeah, I can only go up to 38. That's not good. But anyway, so Bornye is a very interesting character because Bornye has a passive and you have to read all the way to the end, and I will do that with you. And Eternal Night, a lone shadow follows a step. Start of battle, Bornye increases max HP by 400% of self attack. Scales off attack, literally off of that alone. But stay with me. Each attack also deals additional damage equal to 20% of his max HP. Bornye cannot land critical hit. So now that changes things. You know that this character, you want to put attack on this character, so you're gonna want Onslaught. But now you don't want crit rate. Like you just, that's a wasted stat. That just doesn't do anything for Bornye. He's not gonna crit. So now you're looking for all attack, no crit damage either, because he can't crit. I actually don't have any of them. All right, so there's attack bonus right here. So what I want this to do is not roll crit or crit damage, and they roll crit damage. So game over for this piece already. Game over. You do not you can't put crit or crit damage on them because they're just wasted stats. It's basically like a flat stat that does nothing. That's even worse than a flat stat because it doesn't do anything because he can't crit. So yeah, that's unfortunate. So maybe even effect accuracy because over here he has AoE dispel right here, and you can put it up to 100% as well, but they can't resist that though. With 70% chance to dispel one buff from the target, everything else. So maybe you want to get accuracy on it. That won't be necessarily a wasted stat, but he will get to 100%. So you can just kind of shy that away. So now there's 3 things now on his gear that you don't necessarily have to worry about, which makes gearing him actually really easy. If you know there's 3 stats that you can just throw out, you don't need them. So those pieces that would get double attack, attack percent And then even HP and defense is okay because you don't need the crit or crit damage, or you may not even need the accuracy because he gets a good percent. You might need effect accuracy. Just never mind. You definitely might need that, but crit and crit damage being taken off the table. So those pieces that would normally not get that makes them really easy to build and really easy to get max damage early in the game where he's just clapping stuff, which is what I plan on actually doing. Same thing with the shell. You're looking for something that will give him beneficial stat according to whatever his attack is. You don't want any crit. You want to take advantage of that interaction. So what I'm trying to say is that you have to pay attention to what each individual character scales and builds off of, and that will make things a whole lot easier for you, because if you don't pay attention, you could end up building a character completely wrong and giving them not beneficial stats, and then you're like, damn, I'm not benefiting, or you're seeing other people do stuff that are clapping stuff, and you're like, well, how are they doing that? And like you looking in the trial stuff, like the trial dungeons, and you're seeing what other people were doing, because you can look at previous fights and stuff like that and see what they're just performing a whole lot better than you. And then what happened is most likely maybe your build isn't that great and stuff like that. So hopefully this helps you out. Last thing, there's no such thing as like the perfect build in my opinion, because this game makes you change according to wherever you're at. Okay, let's send you out to do this again, play again. Cool. So let's say threshold, because we're all the way down at nightmare. Once you start getting to these two, once you start then getting to hell and then inferno, what ends up happening is you have to be a little bit more pointed. What you were doing up until this point is fine. You got to this point, drink a beer. I'll drink a beer. I'm chilling with you. However, you need to start making your characters a little bit more tanky, a little bit more fleshed out as far as how much they are built, their prowess, getting them all built up, and that changes how you would build a character. You will probably early game be going crazy. Any character that was like a speed lead, which Kraken is definitely a speed lead type of character, you want him as fast as possible. You should probably start worrying about giving him things that will make him more tanky. So ultimately what I am going to do to take him out of this stuff, because he's just on blue stuff right now, I'll do it right in front of you, see if I have anything to actually be of use. That's a 2 speed on that one. Defense, let's see, are you going to roll a speed? You rolled attack. Bye. Game hate VO. There we go. Replace. You don't need Kraken to do damage, and then it rolled HP right there, and some crit. That's useful, but not necessarily needed. What I want him to do is be fast and get his turn. And when he gets his turn, don't die. That's what we want at the end of the day. I don't need you to die. No dying. So ultimately what you want is you want defense and HP. I think I'm kind of like, for speed, I got a BO10. Yeah, I got to farm a little bit more on that side. I got a 2% right there on that one. Early game, you also don't necessarily have to. You don't necessarily have to go crazy as far as looking and building out. Damn, I just didn't get any speed on that, so I can just spam out speed on the bottom. Roll another one. There you go. Roll it again. And then also don't go that crazy in the beginning of the game. Obviously, I'm looking for certain stats. And I start max like I'm not really caring about like my coin right now, because I'll get it back. In fact, it's gonna go up literally in front of you because I'm farming EXP right now, because I need EXP for my characters. And ultimately you can recycle all the gear that you're not using anyway, and get some of your EXP back. And I literally fish for the stat that I want, and +3 to +6, and if I don't get it, then I just stop. See, like we got crit. I'm gonna lose 3 speed if I proceed with this though. Oh, this might roll good. Let's see what happens. Oh, it did. All right, place with that, and he's already better and good to go. Right here, all I really need to do is, I don't have enough these, so just go in and then I can make his skill rotate, which is very important for Kraken. Anybody, same thing with Freya, anybody who turn pushes like that, you want to have their 3 skill max if they can actually get to the point of having a lower cooldown, because that means they will rotate faster. You won't have much speed on them, because that also means they will rotate faster. You want to have a shell on them that will make them rotate faster. You guys see, right? Turn speed up. You just want them going as much as possible. As a matter of fact, oh yeah, I actually want to use these, so I have to farm and get more to build this up. And then this rolled purple. That's why I never, like, it's hard to get purple early games, so I just left it for that. It's not necessarily like, I don't care about defense, but it helps him survive, because that's the whole point. I want him to actually survive and be good to go, and he can stay at the 5-star for right now. He doesn't really necessarily need to go to 6 right away. You can make him like the 5th or 6th character that will be at that point. You don't need to go crazy, is what I'm basically trying to say. I think we are good to go as far as everything on those lines. You should get like the baseline. I do apologize if this was like super nerdy and stuff like that, but I just wanted to kind of like showcase a little bit of the thought process behind building. Again, this is just a blueprint. You don't have to do 100% of what I am doing. We're trying to max Lien. And then I'll just head down the line. He is going to be the next 6-star, basically, and I'm not going to do that with Dorothy. Dorothy's going to stay at 5-star. I'm waiting until the 7th day for Ling Lao, and then she's going to be the 4th 6-star. Do that again. And yeah, let's summon and get out of here, because we can. Maybe. Yeah, we'll do one. Nothing. Sybil. Sybil is literally like the most bench character. Ooh, Chiaki, the Echo. Miss Turn Push herself. Do not sleep on Miss Chiaki. Chiaki will have you out there turn pushing like crazy. Dailies are so easy in this game. You don't even gotta pay attention to daily. But daily just be over. Like my weekly was over the first day on Monday. It did a good job with that. Just saying. So that's all I got for you guys. I'm probably gonna go into Lebo's conspiracy and go knock that out real quick. And then I think I'm already close to Endgame. Well, I didn't even notice I'm over 33. This is like the 4th or 5th day. I think like 4th or 5th day. 7-day check-in. 5th day. Yeah. This is where I'm at, 5th day right now. Obviously we're gonna have to do this. What is this? The 3rd? 5 days, yo. 5 days, y'all gonna be in here. Y'all be looking at this guy, then y'all gonna be like, Scion, I got so-and-so. People gonna be sending me summon videos where they get like freaking 3 summons and like, or 3 SSRs and 1 summon. I'm gonna be like, bruh. But hopefully when you do watch this video, when the game launches, you get some summon luck, because people do that and be like, I got like Messiah, and you'll be a PvP god. I'll be like high-fiving with you. Catch you guys later. Be legendary. Thanks for watching, everybody who's been watching and doing like, comments and everything else like that. It's fun talking to you guys. Everybody's excited to come and play. I'm excited for you to come and play. right here, and to be on the journey with you. As far as when this game officially launches, because this is just going to be like the final paid beta, but when the game officially launches, I'm gonna start the whole series over again as like the launch series, and I'm just gonna show you everything I do from level 1 all the way up to max, basically. And 4K chilling. Peace. Thank you for watching the video all the way to the end. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I love everybody who stops by. You guys always make my day with your comments. It's always funny and whimsical and gives me a reason to keep going. So be legendary, and I will see you guys soon. Peace.